Should you buy an STI or buy a WRX and build it into an STI? I currently own both. I've had this car forever. Recently picked up this STI with a friend. I'm gonna give you guys my honest opinions on both. Does it feel different? Is it worth the money to STI swap stuff? Should you just get an STI? This is a 2007 STI, about 150,000 miles. Picked it up pretty recently. It has external wastegate, probably around 320 wheel horsepower, a few bolt-ons like blow-off valve, intercooler, intake, simple stuff like that. Does have some Fortune Auto coilovers, sitting honestly pretty close to stock height, maybe a little bit lower. Interior is pretty much completely stock, just have an AFR gauge, cop access port. And as far as the outside, you know, obviously it's got its little fair share, some dings, some dents, a little bit of wear on the outside, but overall, this thing is pretty clean, running pretty dang good right now. Now, obviously, if you've been following the channel for a while, you guys already know what the deal with this guy. This thing is fully built, full STI drivetrain swap. It's put around 400 horsepower. I've had this thing for like 6 years. It's currently on air suspension. It's flared. It's got 18 by 10.5 inch wheels. Obviously, you know, got the Brembos. It's the full STI drivetrain. Interior's pretty done up. Got seats, steering wheel, STI cluster, access port, gauges, little interior bits here and there. Carbon fiber trunk. The car is obviously wrapped. It's originally World Rally Blue, but that's just the basics of the cars. Also, quick side note, if you're here, obviously you love Subarus. I'm going to be at SubiFest 2021. It's in Southern California. They just switched locations to like Paris Lake. I don't know what it's called. Originally in Arcadia, but I'm gonna go down there. I'm gonna go down there with all the boys. It's going to be freaking epic, and I will be bringing the WRX, not the STI. I actually just cleaned it up yesterday, getting all wild. The filter's a little dirty, don't worry about that, but just cleaned up the engine bay. It's looking freaking sweet, getting all ready to go for the trip. Okay, back to the video. Also, real quick, if you guys saw the last YouTube video, you guys saw I got a Miata. I cleaned up the engine bay. Okay, that's the only sneak peek that you get. Okay, it's been a minute. It has been a minute since I even filmed a YouTube video just in general. I'm freaking sleeping out here. I've been like this on YouTube. This is me on YouTube, ready? Sleeping until that damn beeping turns on. Now, the STI swap. It's honestly something that I've talked about a lot on this channel, but I've yet to drive the STI swap WRX and an STI of the same generation back to back to really put them head to head and see if there's actually a noticeable difference. In theory, there shouldn't be, right? But I'm gonna find out. Now, the biggest question I want to answer in today's video is when you do an STI swap, does it feel like an STI? It should, right? Now, right when I'm done driving this, we're gonna hop straight to the STI, drive it on the same road, and see how similar it feels. Now I'm gonna move into kind of my opinions. This is just my opinions, and it should not sway your decision either way. I'm just letting you guys know how I feel. I think there's something to be said about a cool factor in a build. I seriously think it should be a thing. There's a cool factor or a cool rating. It's just my opinion. I think an STI drivetrain swap or a full STI swap WRX is cooler than an STI. Look, maybe I'm just a little upset that I didn't get an STI. I don't know, but it's just a fact. I just think it's a little bit cooler. Maybe it's also the fact that if you do it yourself. No hate if you didn't do your STI swap yourself, but I just think there's like a little bit of like a respect factor, a little bit of cool factor that it didn't come like that. Maybe that's just the cars I kind of like. Maybe that's why I like this car. I don't know. It's maybe just what I'm used to. But I think there definitely is something to be said on swapping in stuff into a WRX that wasn't there originally. I don't know. Obviously, everyone's different. Don't be upset at me. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of people that agree and maybe disagree. You can have your opinion. Can you save money doing an STI swap? Honestly, you might break even to someone that bought an STI. Yeah, I'm sure there's people that bought super cheap STIs or super cheap WRX and did an STI swap and you try to save money. But it's like, honestly, at the end of the day, at the most, it's probably a couple $1,000s that you could save. Like if you do everything legit, if you buy a WRX and do an STI drivetrain swap. Yeah, there's always gonna be exceptions to that and people saving a bunch of money and doing it a certain way. But in my opinion, kind of the basic STI swap into a WRX, it's pretty much going to end up costing the same price as just getting an STI. So I don't think you're saving that much money doing it that way. Originally, I thought you would, but today's market, no. I don't think you're saving that much money. Okay, God, the WRX is fast. Like, I don't... No, I don't drive this car enough. I really don't. Like, especially, I've just been driving the Miata a lot. I'm so upset that I have not been filming on YouTube. It's just been such a different time for me. It's just so weird. Such different content that I'm making on TikTok, which I like. It's a lot more fast-paced and stuff like that, but like just kind of chilling with you guys on YouTube video. You guys get more, more of my personality and stuff. I miss it, and I'm gonna get back into it hard. Damn. All right. Now we'll hop in the STI. We'll see how she feels. Now I'm really trying to focus on like the power band, gear ratio. Does it really feel the same? Steering, everything. I want to see if I can really tell a difference because obviously, like steering rack and stuff, I'm not sure if it's actually different in the STI, but kind of what I'm noticing right now, the STI actually does feel a little bit more darty, if that makes sense. I don't know if it's different, but that's kind of one thing I'm noticing also right now. Of course, I end up behind a truck that's loading some friggin' debris. I always like saying debris instead of debris, but anyway. I need a little data log for the tuner, only for the tuning purposes, you know what I'm saying? So we gotta do a little bit of a poll. Oh shit. Sorry. You can't not smile, God, the external wave gets so good. So I think I'm going to take back kind of my statement on the STI swap feeling a little bit more different than the STI. Feels pretty damn similar. I mean, as you'd expect, it feels the same, obviously. Kind of what you'd expect. You had thoughts that an STI swap would be different than an STI. It feels the same, guys. Oh, shit. Okay, sorry, I got carried away. I think if you're looking to save money and get a WRX and then STI swap, I don't think it's worth it. Only if you're looking to make some big power, because obviously that's what the STI is for. It's meant to handle big power. It's meant to, go to the track, be abused, and all that sorts of good stuff. Does an STI swap car feel different than an actual STI? No. I thought it did originally. Driving them back to back, they feel honestly the exact same. Obviously there's subtle differences. This one's on bags, this one's on coilovers. But as far as like overall driving experience, you don't get that much different of a driving experience or at all, to be honest, in an STI compared to the STI swap. So there you have it. There's me driving the STI swap back to back with an actual STI and my honest opinions on both. The only way that I wouldn't get a WRX and do the STI swap, if you're doing it just to save money, what I would do is just buy an STI, save up more, get an STI. It's going to be worth it. You're not going to save a bunch of money getting a WRX and doing an STI swap. That's pretty much the only exception to the rule. And that's pretty much it. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.